What's up, everybody? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, out there in the world, pimps, players, and the wonderful, wonderful ladies out there in the galaxy. How you doing? It is Brother Cousins Toy Reviews, and we are back with Mama Cousins, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Ma?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
You a little nervous?
Kind of. Maybe a little bit.
It ain't nothing to be nervous about. It is nothing to be nervous about. This will be painless. This will be just probably even easier than the other one because you already did it before. So, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And I know a lot of you out there is like, wait a minute, you played the wrong intro. I did because I forgot to render out the new intro. So there we go. So next week we'll have it. We'll have all our shit together. But oops, sorry, Mom. But we'll have all our stuff together. But
Wow.
I know. Sorry. But we'll have all our stuff together. But right now, before we go on, Mom, we got some people in here. I want to say hi to everybody. Payton 23 says good evening, everyone. Hey, what's up, Payton? Good to have you here. We got the movie canon in the building. What's up with you? Says hello, everybody. How you doing, bro? Good to have you here. Payton says the movie canon. Yes, that's the guy. That is the guy. We got Red in the ledger says happy Thanksgiving, all. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody that's out there. Happy Thanksgiving. Absolutely. We got Supernova Moore in the building. He said, good people. And he says, hey, Mom. Absolutely good to have you here. Movie Canon says, hello to to Mama Cousins. Thanksgiving, everybody. You can say hello to the
Hello.
people, Mom.
Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody.
Awesome.
Appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. We sure enough do. We really do. Got collectible Jacks in the building. Says, what's cracking? Y'all blessings to all. Absolutely. We got Rockamon Chris up in the building. He said, your son's a good man. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I think so too.
Oh, very cool. We got Pedro Lopez in the building. Says, hello, all. What's up with you, Pedro? Always good to have you here, my brother. We also got collectible chats again. Says, Mama Cousins, what a blessing. Hey, that's what's up. That's what up.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so
They are
much.
awesome. I appreciate all of you.
Absolutely. So tonight, what we want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk about a little movie that came out in 1977. I think y'all know about it. It has something to do with laser swords and space wizards and Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. And this young lady right here actually saw it in 1977. I know a lot of us, some of us that are watching, a lot of us probably weren't even, weren't around and weren't even being thought of. I wasn't sure. I wasn't even around. That
Well,
was 4 years before I walked
that's
the
for sure.
earth. I don't think she was thinking about little old, little more me entering the world when she was going to see this back in the day. But that is amazing. But yeah, so Mom, we just want to get, just want to get your thoughts. And we talk about this a lot. We talk about this all the time, like, the vibe in the 1970s. And just when this movie came out, how groundbreaking it was, and how even today, how something started, this little film, little indie film in 1977, how it spawned into this big, franchise and this big, all these toys, merchandise, just a wonderful thing that still goes on to this day. Some people, a lot of people like it, some people don't like it. It's like you want to start a fight, talk about religion. It used to be you want to start a fight, talk about religion and politics. Now, if you want to start a fight, you talk about religion, politics, and Star Wars. So that's what it's come down to. But it just shows you how much people love this franchise and how much people love just this whole Star Wars thing. And you being there at the beginning of it, seeing the beginning of how it all started, had to be amazing. So take us back, take us there. Seeing Star Wars at the Uptown, this historical movie theater right here, which I believe is now closed down. But you saw it at the Uptown, which is a wonderful little arts theater, was a little big arts theater in the DC area, in DC. And it yeah, it was around since like the 1930s, and it closed not too long ago, I think about 5 years ago. But Mom actually saw it. And the good thing about this theater, it was so historic and such a landmark, they actually only had one screen. It was one giant screen. So it
That's
wasn't like multiple theater, it
right.
wasn't like a
Right.
multiplex or anything.
That's right. That's right.
Just one screen, right?
Right.
Absolutely. So yeah, so take us, I'm running my mouth, but take us back. Take us there the first night, how you got there, who you were with, all that. Just give us the story.
Oh, well, your dad and I, we got tickets, oh God, maybe 2 weeks in advance.
No.
So we figured we would get in right away, no problem. By the time we parked the car and got up there, there were lines for blocks
Wow.
around the corner.
Absolutely.
We were supposed to sit down at 9. We didn't get into the theater until 12 o'clock.
Wow.
They were letting people at groups at a time. But the most interesting thing about it was that we knew nothing about what it was about.
Yep.
Everybody from the looking at the advertisement thought it was a cartoon or a kids movie.
Right.
So a lot of people could not get tickets. So there always were people. There were people there harassing the people in line who had tickets.
Right.
Of course. And it during that time, it was I would say a lot of people knew about it,
Right.
but a lot of black people weren't really too interested. But
Right.
they knew about it.
Right.
But myself, I'm always interested in everything, especially everything that's new and any kind of pop culture.
Right.
So your dad, we were two of a kind. We said, oh well, we gonna do this.
Right.
But it was
Yep.
so complicated with so many people on the streets. They had to get, of course, police officers to kind of control the crowd.
Right. Right.
But it was great. And I had a couple of people personally pointing me out because there was just a few, not too many black people in line.
Right.
So I had some stragglers going to come and challenge me for my place in line.
Oh wow. What?
Of course. But
So it's funny that all those people in line, they picked up one black person to come to them like, hey, give us your spot.
what are you doing in that line? You don't even know what you're going to look at. It's a cartoon. Are you all kids? Are you grown people? It just went on and on, all kind of nagging and laughing and making fun of us. I guess they would have called us nerds back then.
Wow.
But we were weirdos. I'll put it that way.
Right. Right.
So we were going to see this weird movie. But anyway,
That's interesting.
it was the talk of the town.
Yep.
When I finally got to see the movie, I was so exhausted for waiting for it. When it popped up on the screen, I was just like, wait a minute, what is this? what am I looking at? There's a thing talking, and that I think it's 3CPO.
C3PO?
C3PO would caught my eye immediately because he reminds me of your dad. He was totally arrogant. And I was like, what is this? And then there's a R2D2.
Yes.
Who they had their little banter back and forth, 3CPO
Right.
and him. And the stars. I love the stars because I knew about Carrie Fisher. I didn't know that much about Harrison Ford.
Right.
But of course, and everybody fell in love with Harrison Ford, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, Leia, yeah. Not until Lando showed up. Until Lando showed up, I should say.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And I mostly what drew my attention to wanting to see it was my two favorite actors, Peter Cushing and what's the other guy? Peter Cushing and
Alec Guinness?
No, not Alec Guinness. Christopher Lee, of course.
Yeah.
You can tell him old, I forget quick. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee played movies.
The Hammer films back in the day, right?
Films,
yeah.
Horror films. We used to race to wait till Saturday to go to the movie to see the Hammer films with Dracula and him as Van Helsing. I think we saw at least maybe 10 movies these men made. And at that time, they were very young men.
Right.
But It was great films. Hammer put out a bunch of good horror films back in the day.
Right.
And these two people became very famous because they made so many of them. I think it was four actors at that time that made horror films. I think it was Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and
Right.
then there was Lon Chaney, and then there was Boris Karloff. He made
Right.
the black and white films first,
Right.
right? But horror was big, and it has always been big. And I know just recently it's coming back. All
Yeah.
these movies, The Nun, and these things in the Priest, this stuff is coming back. But Star Wars was different. It was
Mhm.
exciting. It had people talking. And even though the people who criticized it were coming back to see it because it was such something so different. But I love the movies. But when I sit there and watch that movie and the movies that came behind it, the sequels, the prequels, all of it. I have
Right.
no idea I would ever be involved in looking at something that's over, been going on forever. Even our kids, my kid, now
Yeah.
my grandkids are
Yeah.
talking about Star Wars. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know it would be that big.
E
I didn't have any idea it would be as large
exactly.
as it was.
Exactly, and that's the thing, like, when you see it seeing it all the way back then, I mean, it just had to be and just that's funny to me when you tell that story about you're in line and you got people picking with you, and, we used to have that, and it's funny that they were kinda picking with you at the time, but then they saw how big it was, they still wanted to be part of it.
Of
That's the thing
course.
that's fun they still wanted to be
Yes.
part of it, and you're seeing that you're seeing that now, like, what used to be I remember even in the '90s, where it was kind of like, oh, if you like this, or if you're in computers, or you're kind of a computer geek, you're kind of a nerd. And then you look at it now, everybody has an iPhone. Everybody knows something about a computer. So it's like
Right.
everybody, back then, now everybody would could be considered a geek because geek is like chic, and the culture is like so rich now, and it's so much of it for everybody now. So
Sweetheart,
yeah.
not to cut you off, if I could tell you how many times I was called weird, you wouldn't have any idea.
Wow,
Because
that's
I
crazy.
always was interested in what's new and what's different, especially in the arts.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing you always want to, be out there and look at without my thing is I never and I guess that's, from me being raised from you, I never felt I never wanted to be a person that just was short-sighted or just didn't want to, you know, see what was out there. I was always interested what was beyond my reach, or always interested what was beyond my viewing. I always wanted, I was always nosy and staying up and watching late movies and like, what is this about? And even as a kid watching, going from watching Nickelodeon to staying up watching Nick at Night. Real reason I was watching Nick at Night because I wanted to know what came on after I went to bed. And I'm seeing all these old shows and I'm like, what is this? And I remember talking about some of this stuff with my friends, and even they were like, you're kind of weird. Like, what do you know about these old black and white shows? What are you knowing about this? I'm like, I just know. So it's funny that you went through that and I went through that
My
too.
father, my father taught me to be open-minded like that.
Yes.
My dad wasn't having it. My dad would sit down and teach us what the schools would refuse to teach us.
Exactly.
My dad taught me all kinds of things. You want to know about this? Go read this. Go read
Yep.
that. No, I've been curious about everything.
Exactly. Before we continue on, I want to do go through some of these super chats. You're getting a lot of love in here. Um, hey, my guy Larry Walker, he said, yes, Star Wars changed everything as far as sci-fi movies. Absolutely, totally agree. We got my uncle. You talked to him, Mom. This is Uncle Benjamin E. Green. You talked to him on the phone a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, get a car. Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to say hello. Definitely,
Hi.
definitely. We got Aaron. What's up, Aaron? Got Aaron in the building. What's up? Yo. What's up with you? We also got Louis Labitz. He says, hello, crew. He said, hello, mama cousins. Thanks for sharing these stories. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. You guys are just so sweet. Guys,
Thank you
thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
They're so sweet. But I watch you guys all the time.
She really does. She really does. She watches all the
I
shows.
watch all of the shows. I feel like I know all of you guys.
That is amazing. We're a family. We definitely a fan. We definitely, like I said, I never feel comfortable saying, "Oh yeah, my viewers" or anything like that. I mean, that's what it's called, views and viewers. But seeing you guys' names pop up and everything, it feels more like family. It definitely hits different than just, oh, these are just a viewer. No, you guys are like family, and then bringing my family in on this is like, it's even a deep. I feel we have even a deeper connection with you guys. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But no, but going back to it, just like, what were your thoughts when you first saw this guy? Darth Vader walk out on that screen. I mean, this is like the bad guy of bad guys in film cinema. It doesn't get any bigger. When you think of bad guy or you think of villain in any movie, it's often, very often compared to Darth Vader. So what was your thoughts of this guy when you first seen him on screen?
When Darth Vader would come on the screen, your auntie and myself, my twin,
Yes.
we would cheer for him. We loved him. I'll put it that way.
And then the thing of it is,
the bad guy.
And then the thing of it is, you're hearing the voice of oh my
James
God.
Earl Jones.
Thank you, thank you so much. You're hearing the voice of James Earl Jones. So a lot of people, what was that like? Like, how did Black folks back in the day take that? Because he was kind of known at that time,
and he was still kind of young.
and so people, where people like, man, it's him under that costume. Like, what did people think? Like,
well, to be honest with you, I thought George Lucas was brilliant.
Yes.
How he chose the voice.
Yes.
The voice itself was so demanding and commanding at the same time that you couldn't help it. He stole the scene whenever he walked in. I'll put it that way, especially when he started talking.
Yep. Hold on, I just gotta say, this is my guy Cusso Blanco, aka call me White Cheese. What's up with you? He says, I love my mom, but Mama Cousins is way cooler. I love her perspective. What a gem. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Definitely. Yep, one of the best villains. But that's funny because your nephew, you might as well call him your other son, second brother, this is his guy. He identifies with Darth Vader like a mug. He loves Darth Vader. So it's funny that Darth Vader, and we say this a lot today. Coming up as a kid, Luke was my favorite character because that's the person that's kind of pulling you through this journey. But looking back at it and where we're at with Star Wars up until today, Anakin, I gotta say, Anakin and Vader, all which is one and the same, is the biggest character in Star Wars to me. He just is. And like you said, the love and just the love we all have for that character. And even though he's the villain, it's just like, damn, he's just so cool and has that command and presence that you just gotta fall in love with it. But yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that's why The Revenge of the Sith for the prequel is my favorite movie, because it shows how he became Darth Vader.
Exactly.
Which I found we were still going screaming at the end, yay! Because we found out how he came about.
Exactly. We're gonna talk. Hold that thought, because we're gonna. Wow, this is. I didn't even, guys. I didn't even plan this conversation to go like this because my mom's good. My mom's a natural at this. I think she's actually better than me. But wow. But we're gonna go back there because I do want to get your thoughts on the current state of Star Wars, just to see how you feel about it. Because we've had a couple of conversations about that. But just sticking with this for a few more. What'd you think about and a lot of people would say this is probably one of the first strong females that we have had on screen. Carrie Fisher as Leia Organa. Just what did you think of her back then? Seeing a woman, being a strong woman yourself, and seeing an even strong woman on screen. Because back then, this what made Star Wars so special. Like, you got Luke runs in there, he pulls a stormtrooper helmet on. He's like, "I'm here to save you," and she's sitting there like, "Aren't you a little short? You're like, who are you?" Like, I got this. That had to be like that had to be like real cool. So, how did you feel about her?
I've always felt a connection to strong women, because I'm the first female in my family to ever step out as an individual, as a person doing their own things, what my father did not appreciate, because you got to understand, during that time, women were seen and sort of kept quiet. But I always wanted my brother's bicycle, not a doll.
Mm,
But that's just been me all my life. And
gotcha.
I thought she was great. I'm glad
Mm,
she was in a leading role like that and
mhm.
up front. And I liked Carrie Fisher.
Yes. What a gem. R.I.P. to
Yeah.
her and her mom. It just
And her mom and her dad, I knew about them.
exactly. Um, man, yeah, definitely. You know, and I know you were familiar with like with her mom's work. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I mean, just for the younger crowd, because Debbie Reynolds, right? Her mom was
Yes.
like, yeah, can you tell us a little
Her
bit about
mother, her mother was an incredible actress, singer, and dancer, and a beauty queen, all
mm,
in one.
yep.
Her mother was incredible. If anybody could ever ask someone about the movie she made, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, how she played that and danced and sing, she was an incredible, talented woman. And
Wow.
this girl has talented from both sides of her family. Her father was a singer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, and that's how she probably got the role and just took
Yeah.
it and ran. And Leia, like even with we this channel is really geared about hot toys and collectibles and stuff like that. And we have so many. I believe I could be wrong out there, guys, but I believe she's actually the highest produced female figure because they have so many different variations of Leia out there on the market, and Leia sells. She sells. So
Yes.
Leia's a good Leia, like, just
Mm.
that character, and we hear it a lot today. We hear about like, hey, woman power in the movies and all that other stuff. This is woke, that's woke, all that other type of garbage. But this woman right here, I think she did her thing in this role and really stood. She stood like you see the three of them there. She's rightfully in the middle and
Oh,
rightfully there with them. So
yeah, she
this is
was.
great.
She stood out in the film. On her
Absolutely,
own, she was pretty good. She was good.
absolutely,
I like
absolutely.
Luke too. I like and Harrison Ford all of them. The characters all blended so well together and bounced off of each other's characters.
Was this Harrison's Ford break? Was this his breakout role? Did he do anything prior to this?
Harrison Ford, it was basically a carpenter
Right.
who became an actor. I don't think that was his first love, but this is breakout role. I don't think I ever saw him before that.
Gotcha. I think so too. Yeah, because I was trying to remember. I was like, did he do anything else outside of this? If the chat knows, definitely let us know. But definitely, did you know anything? I know Mark Hamill was so young in this. Did he do anything? Were you familiar with any of his work prior to this film?
To be honest with you, I had never seen him before.
Wow. So he was a fresh face. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Which
yeah.
is great because that's one thing I
I
love
don't
about.
remember how young we were.
Yeah.
We didn't have much
Yeah.
of a history. These people were very young,
Which
including
is
myself.
which is also a great thing because that I think that pulls you. That's one thing I don't like. When you see a lot of these movies, these big tentpole movies, your Marvel films, your uh, even newer Star Wars films, they tend to now get known actors because they want, the Oscar winners. They want to, and look, they bring it. They have those Oscars and those accolades for reasons. But I do like when you have films where you have people that are unknown because I think that pulls you into the universe. So you just see them in that role. You're like, oh my God, that's Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. It just pulls you in. I love, and I, man, this had to be once again, I just wish I could have been there to see that. And even seeing that's right, guys. The only Star Wars I actually saw in the theater or OT was Return of the Jedi because I was just born. And I was I was like, what, 2? But that makes me an OT guy. So that does make me an OT guy. But before we continue, OG fan with Star Wars is just Star Wars. Thank you very much for the $2 bomb. Said cheers to Mama Cousins and OG after my own heart. That's right. Absolutely. Also want to give a shout out to Loco Lou. What up with you?
Hi, Lou.
She knows your stuff too, Lou. She's a big fan of yours, so
That's
definitely.
right. Hi, Lou.
Absolutely. Oh, we also got Luminar in the building. What's up, Lumi?
Oh, yeah.
Hello. She says hello. I was first introduced to her mom in Halloween Town. That's right. I remember she was in that. He said later on I saw her in Singing in the Rain. That
Right,
is awesome.
right.
Very awesome. 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 Definitely, definitely. Yeah, so these were, like you said, these were, newer act. Sorry guys, we're trying to catch up with the chat. But these were kind of fresh faces, which made the world even more immersive. And yeah, that just had to be cool. Definitely had to be cool. Just want to go through some of these pictures real quick. Some of these pictures I've never seen. I just pulled them off Google and I was like, wow, I never seen this. But just to see
Yeah,
Lucas and all of them just
yeah,
directing is amazing.
yeah. It was amazing.
Definitely. But the vibe in this, but that's funny, like going back. So now that after you've seen the movie, what was it like, the vibe like after the movie? Like, I'm sure it made a whole lot of money and people, like, what was the chatter then? Like,
Oh,
people weren't
people,
calling you weird or anything then. I bet they were like, oh, we gotta go see this.
they did. And almost every kid, the first Halloween was Yoda. And you laugh, you was an Ewok.
I was an Ewok,
I
that's
couldn't
right.
wait to put you in that suit.
But hold on, but for the first, but I know Yoda wasn't in the first one. But for the first, when the first movie came out, how was that? Like, how was that Halloween?
Oh, people loved it.
No,
I mean, people love Star Wars. As you can see, it goes on and on and on.
no,
But I have to admit, at one point, I dropped out.
really,
But there are a few years that I dropped out, and that's when Darth Maul became into the trilogy.
really, really. So we're gonna jump around and bring this up. So, like, my question before we continue, I just want to get this real quick. We're Fat Batman's Collective Nightmare. What's up with you, bro? Definitely good to have you here. So I love this so much. There's nothing like like mother's love, being able to share likes and interest. Absolutely, with your mom is amazing. Shout out to Mama Cousins. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are
They are. Thank you.
completely awesome.
I'm glad they're enjoying it.
Absolutely. Definitely, guys. But no, so I want to talk about, like, as you saw it you saw it in 77, you loved it. I'm sure, we went to go see Empire Strikes Back,
Yes.
Return of the Jedi. Then Star Wars went away a little bit, and it was
Yeah.
around that time in my early kid to later teen years, Star Wars was gone for about 10 years. We didn't
Yeah.
have, it's funny. Like, we get inundated with so much Star Wars today. People, if they weren't, a lot of these kids, if they weren't around, it was a time when Star Wars was like gone. We didn't have it for like 10 years. And we was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, we had those 3 movies, that's it. But
Yeah.
then they started to repurpose the videos. He put them back in the movies, added new scenes to them and everything, kind of getting us ready for 99. And I remember me and second brother, especially second brother, was just always telling me, dude, a new Star Wars is coming. I'm reading it in the magazine. A new Star Wars is coming. I was like, really? Wow. Then we started to see merchandise. We started seeing
Right.
episode 1 and all
Right.
this. And I remember, and this is how old I am, episode 1, when it came out, was actually my senior skip day. It was my senior skip day. And I remember skipping out. And I remember they said it on the loudspeaker, for all you seniors, you better not skip out to go see Star Wars. Wink, wink, knowing that we were going to go see Star Wars. And I remember seeing it. And when I first saw episode 1, I was like, Darth Maul is cool. I actually saw it about 4 times. But after that 4th time, I was like, man, this is good. But it's not hitting like the originals for
Can
me.
I say something to you?
Absolutely.
You second brother
Mhm.
and yourself
Yeah,
and Lil Macho flew all the way to California to meet Darth Maul.
that's right.
And you felt that way about him? I didn't know that.
No. Hold on. No. So when the first, no, this is how it went for me.
Yeah.
It took years. It took years for me to appreciate. When I first seen it, I liked Darth Maul. Always loved Darth Maul. I had the double
Okay.
lightsaber and everything.
Okay.
I didn't like the fact that, spoilers, the movie's like over 20 something years old, that they appeared that he had been killed in the episode 1s. And I was like, why did they get rid of him like that? Come
Oh,
on.
I think I remember hearing you guys talking about it. Did they sort of like cut him in half or something?
Right.
Yeah.
And at that
Okay.
time, well, he's back now. And at that time,
Okay.
we were kind of like, what the hell, And then after seeing the second one, Attack of the Clones, I was like, okay, cool. Now, when you bring up the third one, Revenge of the Sith, I was like, yeah, I'm all board with this. This
I
is
love
that
the Revenge of the Sith.
a great one. A really great one. I
Mhm.
think that was the one I was like, okay, I really like this. But where I'm at with it now, I feel those movies have aged better in my eyes because I understand them more now. And I gotta admit, I had my best friend Glenn Boone. He was a big prequels fan, and he would always say, even when we went to see it back in those days, he said, "You guys don't understand it yet, but you will." And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" And it's funny because he kind of had a point. I'm like, "Damn, it does make sense." So now I look back at those films with loved eyes. I actually love all three of them now because they tell that story. But yes, Revenge of the Sith of the prequels definitely is my favorite. But we
Yes.
heard enough of me
Yeah.
talk. What did you think about those movies?
The prequels,
Yes, in
the
the entirety.
and it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I matter of fact, I love Daisy Ridley.
No. It was a sequel. We talking about the prequels now. We talking about
Oh,
just the.
see, there's so many of them.
I know.
Prequels. So what do you mean? Which
So with
one?
the prequels, that's with Darth Maul episode 1 with Liam Neeson, and then the second one is
With
Attack.
Jar Jar Binks and all these?
Yeah, because those are the prequels.
Okay. Not much. I wasn't into that.
Okay. But
Okay.
you like, so those two, the first two prequels you really weren't into like that.
No,
Okay, but you
no.
like Revenge of the Sith.
Loved it. I came back into Star Wars when
That
I
brought you
saw the
back.
Revenge of the Sith.
I didn't
And that's
realize that.
because of Darth Vader, how he
Right,
became Darth Vader. It was
right,
important to me how
right.
he became Darth Vader. Then I was able to get back on that path and follow him again.
Gotcha. Okay, so that pulled you back into it. Okay, that makes
Right.
sense because I couldn't remember too many. If you like the first two prequels, episode 1,
No,
episode
no, no.
2.
I was kind of. No, you don't remember because we were
Yeah.
probably your auntie and myself was kind of like downing it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
We
Yeah.
weren't. Yeah, no, we weren't into that part.
But when
But I
he
look
was,
at it now, with the one with Liam Neeson and
yeah, that's
Jar
yeah,
Jar Binks. I look
yeah,
at it now,
yeah.
but when I first saw it, I was like, I'm not into this part of it.
Got you. No, definitely. No, I definitely can understand that. Mark Attack, would you say Mama Cousin trying to forget about Jar Jar?
Absolutely.
And that's why I asked that question because it's kind of a OG fan. He said, "Oh, Mama Cousin, take no prisoners." Yeah, hey, you want the real, Ma? I'll give you the real. Definitely. But no, I mean, hold on. Benjamin Green. Okay, so we did find out. Thanks, Ben. He says Harrison Ford's breakout role was American Graffiti. That's right. Okay.
I
Got it.
never saw. I'm a movie fan, but
Mhm.
I've never seen American Graffiti
I've
ever.
seen pieces of it and I've never seen it in its entirety. That's one I got to put on the list.
Yeah,
I'll
I need to
definitely put
look
on
at
the
that
list.
because that is a big movie in its time and still is. A lot of people
Absolutely.
think a lot of it, but I never saw it.
Absolutely.
Well, for one thing, because I'm a sci-fi fan and a horror fan, so I never really looked at it. Right.
Yep, that's right. Want to give a shout out to S Beam in the building. Thank you so much for being here, my brother. Absolutely. OG fan says Return of the Jedi 1983, TMP 1999 was a long drought. It was. It was a long drought for Star Wars. And it's
Yeah.
funny, with all the complaining that we hear now, I mean, a lot of people don't know about that drought. Who knows? Maybe we'll be back at that again at some point. I doubt it, but Disney loves money. But but that's funny. So return of the return of the Revenge of the Sith, excuse me, Revenge of the Sith brought you back in it. Looking
Yeah.
at that older Hayden, and his transformation turning into Darth Vader, that
Well,
brought you back.
but it even took me. I even went back to see the old movies that Hayden did
Mm.
to catch up to the Sith, the Revenge of the
Right.
Sith. So that far, I started back when he was playing Anakin, up until no, when Jake Lloyd was Anakin, I was still looking at them too. The little boy,
Okay.
little
Okay.
Anakin.
Okay.
Then
But
I followed it back up until now.
got you. So you pretty much so you did exactly kind of like the same thing I did. It's like at first when you saw it, you was kind of like, no. But now you kind of look back at it like, okay, I get it. You can see the full story now.
Exactly. I went back so I could catch up to Revenge of the Sith.
Got you, got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Read in the Ledger wanted to ask you a question. Now I know we saw this together. Rogue One. Um, do you remember seeing that in the movie? Because I know we don't talk about it that much.
Uh, okay, once again, I wasn't too pleased with the fact that they'd made Rogue One, and the leading lady, I think, sort of turned me off.
Really, really.
What's her name? I can't.
Felicity Jones, Jen Erso. Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't follow that storyline that much.
got you.
I wasn't really into Rogue One,
What
but
about
once
the last? But
again,
what about that last scene with Darth Vader though?
well, me and your auntie was going for it again. Whoa, why? Oh, he's in it. We're back in.
See
It
there,
was
ladies
like
and gentlemen.
that.
See, it's those original. See, it's those original. You see, y'all see a pattern with this, right? It's those original characters that she's grabbing onto. So I get that. I
Yeah.
mean, would you? It seems like it's funny. We were with Robert Meyer Burnett. We were on Anthony's Six Scale Mafia. Make sure you gotta check out that stream. My guy Six Scale Mafia. Y'all already know who he is. But we were on his show this Saturday, and we were talking about that with Robert Meyer Burnett. And Robert, I believe you and Robert Marant kind of around the same age group. Um, and he, we were talking about like some of the Star Wars properties kind of being far removed, so far removed from the original. It's kind of hard for certain people to tap into. Am I correct? Would you say that some of these characters, some of these properties
Absolutely.
are a little too far away to it's like, huh? Like who is
Yeah,
this? Like,
yeah. But you know who changed that for me once again?
who's that?
I love Ray.
Wow. Wow. I bet y'all didn't expect that.
I
I
love
bet
Ray.
y'all didn't expect that.
I do. I
That's
love
right. She
Ray and
does.
Callow. I love Ray.
She does.
And I
She
will be in
does.
the movie to see whatever she does.
She does. See, y'all wasn't expecting that. I know everyone's like, what? So and that's just what it comes down to. You like who you like.
Yeah. I loved Ray and Finn. I love those two characters.
There you
And then I
go.
jumped past Lando. I love Lando also, don't get me wrong.
Of course. Of
When he
course.
showed up in the older films.
Yeah,
Yes, I did.
of course. And that's funny because I'll go, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see her. I'll be like, I'll come in her room at night. And I'm like, hey, what you doing? And she'll be watching like the sequels. She'll watch the whole sequel trilogy on TNT. One day, you know how TNT is. They just play the whole thing. And she just watched it from sun up to sundown. And she really likes those movies. And it's funny. It's like by her liking those movies, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, they're not that bad. But I'm like, the writing could be better. And sometimes I ain't gonna lie, you hear me all the time. I'll be like, the writing doesn't make sense. Luke wouldn't have done that. Luke wouldn't have did this. But
Yeah.
she likes his movies. But yeah. Definitely. Blackbird Tech says, what's up? We got Tragic TK I don't know, I'll say Tragic Magic. TK Magic Shop says hello. Cuz and Mama Cuz, definitely. We got Ben. What's up with you? Ben Thomas Show. What's up with you, bro? My Canadian friend, my Canadian brother. He says, hey, great to see you both here. Badass mom. Thank you. Man. Thank you. We got Calvin Low Key in the building. He said, hey, brother, cousin. He said, I'm making my plans to head east to hang out with you and second brother. You're going to have to bring your mom out with us as well. Loving these stories. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
I would love it.
Absolutely. But that is so funny. That's so funny. Like, and it's funny because a lot of people would say Rogue One is like one of the best Star Wars movies, me included. I think it's definitely one of the best Star Wars movies. But I get where you're coming from too. It's like when you see all those other characters, it's kind of hard to tap. It's like so far away. Sorry, like I can't. I guess it just depends on. I think where we're at right now, it's enough Star Wars for everybody to fall into some direction. If you want Clone Wars, you can fall into that. If you want the prequels, you can fall into that. If you want the OT, you got that to fall into. So I think, there's enough Star Wars for everybody is what I'm trying to say. But it's funny that it's hardcore OT, and there you were at the beginning, the birth of the OT.
Yeah.
You still like.
You got to remember, that was only one. They played it in Uptown in Washington, DMV. Only one place.
Damn, so it only played in that one theater?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Wow, I didn't know that.
To be there the first night of its opening, it was really interesting and a lot of fun. I
That is
told you,
amazing.
people, they see Uptown, they were around the blocks.
Wow. I didn't know that was the only theater that
And
it
that is
played
a
at.
very prominent theater, Travis.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes. That's fine. That's
I
fine.
didn't call you by your professional name, but anyway,
That's fine.
Uptown, Uptown was the best movie in the DMV. That
Hmm.
means you were going upscale when you went uptown.
Gotcha.
You got to
Gotcha.
travel to go uptown in Washington. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Makes
that
sense.
was a big deal. Anything that was shown at the uptown had to be top quality.
It was a big deal.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. I didn't realize that it only showed in that one theater. But it makes sense though.
Yeah.
Wow, man, what a treat. What a treat. So I want to ask you this, and I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna bring up something for you real quick because we're talking about current state of Star Wars. Let's ask you. I wanted to ask you another question. So you were there from the beginning. You saw all this wonderful stuff right here. You saw, you know, these wonderful characters. It's a
Yes.
wonderful film.
Yeah.
You've seen the prequels.
Yes.
Prequels didn't work out. The first beginning of the prequels didn't work out for you
Right.
too much, but you love the end, and it actually had you to come back around and respect them. You respect them now.
Right. Right.
You
Yes.
like you
Yes.
like the sequels. You're a big Star Wars fan. That's what I'm getting from you. You're a big Star Wars fan. You like the sequels. You like the sequel trilogy with Rey, Kylo in them.
Yes.
You like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on Mando and the whole Disney Plus Star Wars
I
era?
love you talking about the Mandalorian?
Mandalorian, yes.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I love it.
There you go.
I love it.
So majorly, you're just a big Star Wars fan. Just a couple
I'm,
spots in there, you're kind of like, but for the most part, you're a big Star Wars fan.
of course. I'm not denying that to anybody. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Anything Star Wars.
That's
But you got to
amazing.
remember, my whole generation was about Star Wars.
Exactly. Exactly. That is great. And I mean, to like I said, to start it off here and all the way to we have it now. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Mom, I did tell a story on on a stream a couple weeks ago. I think it was last week, matter of fact, um, about Ahsoka. And I was raving, and I was like, "Man, this show is so cool." Ahsoka, Rosario, I love Rosario Dawson anyway, but
Yeah, I know.
even wifey knows that. But I'm just like, "Oh man, this Ahsoka is a great show. It's a great show." And I know there were parts that you liked because we know that you love Hayden. We know that you love Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. But I remember I played you a couple of episodes of Ahsoka, and I went downstairs and I was working and I heard the loudest snore I ever heard from you ever. And I was like, oh my God, she fell asleep. And I was like, Mom, wake up. And you was like, yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's okay. How do you feel about this Ahsoka show? Be nice.
You want an honest answer?
Yeah, be nice. Be
I
nice.
don't have to be not nice, but I'll be polite. I'll put it that way.
Be polite. Yeah, be polite.
I need to give it another chance
Fair enough.
because it was something about it to me that was just not, I wasn't just feeling it,
Gotcha.
but I want to give it another chance. And I want to see the other movie as well. This movie, Andor.
Andor, yeah.
Yeah, I need to look at them before I criticize them
Yeah.
instead of saying, well, this is not what I thought it should be.
Yeah.
But I don't, but to be honest with you,
Your first impression of it.
my first impression of Ahsoka, and I'm just being honest, is I think Rosario Dawson
Yeah.
playing the part is a very well-known actress.
Right.
And I think
Kind of takes you out of it.
okay, when
Kind of takes you out of it.
takes me out of it. If
Yeah.
they had started with the little girl Ahsoka,
Yes.
I could have grown into it.
Yes. What's her name? Lindsay, was it Greenfelt? Lindsay, the young, she also played young Gamora in Infinity War. And I remember you said that.
Ariana Greenblatt.
Ariana Greenblatt. Yes. And I remember, and it's
If
funny
they
that
started with her, I might have been able to follow the story until they got to the point where Ahsoka would be Rosario.
You know what? I've heard. Yep. OG fan. OG is on it. I liked her portrayal as Ahsoka, and and it's funny. Disney put out a poster with her and Hayden as younger Anakin together, and I was like, that's the show right there.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
love that. I know we kind of got that in the Clone Wars, but the Clone Wars is animation. We're talking about live action now. I think if they gave us that in live action, I think that would be great. Not one that, not taking anything from Rosario. I think Rosario did excellent, but I like that portrayal of the younger with Anakin. I think
yeah,
there's a good show there.
yeah. That's what I thought when I saw Ahsoka, because I don't know the storyline of
Hmm.
Ahsoka at all. But if
Gotcha.
when I saw her Anakin being a grown up, being
Hmm.
a being a before he turned to Vader, and I
Right.
saw the interaction between her and him, it there was a story there to me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that I would have
Exactly.
probably enjoyed watching when she was a kid. And
Exactly.
him, what do you call it that she was his what do you call
Padawan.
it? Padawan. Yeah,
Yes.
I would have
Yeah.
probably liked that.
Yeah. And I mean, and I know people out there will be like, well, you had the Clone Wars, but once you in the Clone Wars, the animation Clone Wars. And we got that. And that's probably
Well,
why,
Little Macho was watching it one day. I looked at it a little bit with him
right.
because he
Right.
was in it too because it was the animation. I
Right.
watched this
But live action and animation are two total different things. So
very much. Yeah.
yeah, so seeing that in live act, because when I saw that and saw Adriana Greenblatt's portrayal, I was like, wow, this is dope. And see, like you said, seeing that story,
Mhm,
yeah, I
mhm.
would find that, me personally, I would find out. I don't know. I think I got a thing for kids. I just like little. I just like. I think when you add children in that dynamic between children or young people and that dynamic, I just think it's more interesting storytelling wise. That's just me. But not knocking the show. I loved it. I still love the Ahsoka. I love that aspect a lot, and I agree with you on that. But yeah, I would give it a second. I would give it a second chance, but I understand also where you're coming from. Like, because like we were saying, with these characters right here on the screen, they weren't really, these faces were all kind of fresh faces. So that kind of that kind of immersed you deeper into the world. Because when you
Exactly.
see, because you probably looking at it like when you see Ahsoka, oh, I'm looking at Rosario Dawson. I'm not, you can't make that connection. That's
It
probably,
was that's exactly it. I could make
yep,
the connection
gotcha.
because she is so well known.
Right.
I couldn't look past the actor. I could not see the character for looking at the actor. I'll put it
Understood.
that way.
Understood. That's well said. Oh, that is well said. OG fan with Star Wars, just Star Wars. Thank you for the $5 bomb, good sir. He says, yes. He said there were 32 theaters in the entire US that showed Star Wars on May 25th, 1977. What? There are very few of the OGs like mom. The name is for real. Dude, thank you so much. Yeah, I didn't know that. See, this is education for me too, guys. I didn't know that. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, OG. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely. Yeah, mom. I mean, so we got it. Now I got one more thing I want to show you. Speaking of Ahsoka, now we talking about, as we these shows and everything we do is always about figures. It's a starts with pop culture, always ends with pop culture, and we just love figures and everything like that. So I want to bring up something. This dropped last week, and you probably already know what it is. I'm about to bring up, but just want to. You've seen me bring a million and one of these things in the house, and just wanted to get your thoughts on this figure. I think it's phenomenal. What are your thoughts on this figure?
Are you talking? You talking to me directly, right?
Yes, of course.
You have her? I haven't seen her.
No,
I
this is
think
coming
it's
out.
you asking me. Oh, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, this is coming out. This is
I think it's very nice, and it looks like her.
exactly. Now I have one version. A lot of us have the original one that came out, and it's a good figure of Ahsoka,
Mhm.
but it doesn't look like Rosario Dawson
This one
as
does.
Ahsoka. This one does.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, this will be coming home.
Yeah.
This will
It's
be
a
coming
nice
home.
picture.
Definitely, definitely. Well, guys, that's pretty much about it. We had an hour with mom.
What?
Did you guys? Yeah, it's been an hour, or it goes fast, doesn't it?
Very.
Did you guys have if you guys had any questions, please let us know if you had any questions for mom. But in the meantime, what you got going on, mom? What you got planned for Thanksgiving?
What eating? Oh, of course, I'm going to make my infamous pies.
You got to. You got to.
Yeah, I'm going to
You
make my
have to.
pies and my wonderful stuffings and gravy. That's about it.
That is awesome. I can't. I can't wait for that. Definitely can't wait for that. Let me see. Mark Attack said they should do separate stories from the Clone Wars and live action, but not straight adaptation stories. Adaptation of stories already seen in animation. Hope that makes sense. No, that does. That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Mhm.
Definitely Mark Attack. I would love
Yeah.
that. I would love that.
Mhm.
Um, uh, says awesome show. Thank you so much. Mark Attack eating. Absolutely. Well, Mama, thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure having you on these shows, and yeah, just always good to have you here. And I'm so happy that we were able to do this because I had this idea in my head a lot, but a lot of times I have ideas in my head, but they just never see the light of day. But
I
I'm
know, and
glad that
I heard you speak of it. I'm saying, no, son, that can't happen. That cannot happen.
we
Can't do that.
but we're here and we're doing it. You're doing it. You here now, so we're gonna have you on panels and everything. You're gonna be getting invites to other people's shows. I'm like, hey, they're gonna bow right past me. They be like, yeah, who's second? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brother cousins here, mama cousins. Hey. Oh, he said, bravo,
Well,
bravo.
I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Absolutely,
I like doing
absolutely,
it. The second
absolutely.
time, but I've had fun each time.
Definitely, definitely. We'll definitely have you on the next week's episode. We got to figure that out. I mean, maybe we'll talk the Beatles. We'll talk about it. We'll see. But maybe
Wow.
that's
There's
going to be fun.
another story.
That's going to be fun. Y'all gonna love that. So we'll be talking the Beatles next week. And I know we went on Monday. Usually we're gonna try to do Sundays, but it was too much going on with the holidays and everything last night. We just couldn't get it together. So that's why we're going live today. But next week, well, I guess the end of this week, we'll be back on Sunday. So guys, thank you all so much for being here. Benjamin E. Green, my guy, thank you so much. That's my uncle right there. Definitely, definitely. Mark Attack, thank you so much. Sid. This channel's about to blow up after this show. Bro, I hope so. Thank you all so much. You guys are amazing. Dale, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Everybody that's in here in the chat. Guys, remember to leave a like. Totally helps the show out. Definitely. And guys, tell your friends, tell your cousins, you know what I'm saying? And also have a happy, happy, happy
Happy,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving.
All right, guys, we'll see you. Be easy.